My name is Connor Hall, and I'm in the 6th grade. My title was, What Lives in Your Kitchen Sink and How Can You Get Rid of It? Would you want to eat a piece of fruit if you dropped it into the toilet? Would you want to eat a piece of fruit if you dropped it into the kitchen sink? Well, you shouldn't if you eat it in the kitchen sink because the kitchen has more germs than the toilet does. And there's also some bacteria and viruses that are found in the kitchen sink. Examples of some bacteria would be Salmonella, E. coli, and Staph. Some viruses that can be found in the sink would be the common cold, influenza, which is the flu, and human coronavirus, which is a really bad cold. My research question is does disinfecting wipes work better? Wait, does a name brand disinfecting wipe work better than an off-brand disinfecting wipe? Or do disinfecting wipes work better than soap and water that will kill bacteria? My variables were that the control variable was the agar dish of the untreated kitchen sink. My independent variables were number 1, the agar dish of the portion of the kitchen sink cleaned with a name brand wipe. Number 2, the agar dish of the portion of the kitchen sink will clean with the off-brand disinfecting wipe. My third one is the agar dish of the portion of the kitchen sink cleaned with soap and water. My dependent variable was which agar dish shows fewer and or smaller bacteria colonies over a period of 1 week. My hypothesis was if the kitchen sink is divided into 3 sections, with one section being cleaned with a name brand disinfecting wipe, an off-brand disinfecting wipe, and soap and water, the next section. And then the section will be cleaned with a disinfecting wipe. Whether name brand or off-brand will kill bacteria better than soap and water. My materials were that my materials were agar, Sterling swabs, distilled water, tape, Ziploc bags, marker, camera, Clorox disinfecting wipes, off-brand disinfecting wipes, soap, hot water, Sterling pastry dishes, and oven mitt. My procedure was that number 1, I prepared my Petri dishes by labeling them. Second, I melted the agar in the microwave and poured it into the dishes. Number 4, I used a Sterling swab, poured distilled water on it, and swabbed the sink that was not cleaned as my control variable. I inoculated the dish. Number 5, then I washed one section of the name brand Clorox wipes, poured distilled water on the Sterling swab, swabbed the sink, and inoculated the dish. I did this 3 times with the name brand wipe. Then I repeated the same procedure with the off-brand Member's Mark wipe. Then I repeated the same procedure with the off-brand. Then Then I repeated my procedure with hot soap and water. Each evening I observed the dish and recorded data, time, temperature, and bacteria growth in each dish. I also took pictures of these. I'll give it. I did my growth in centimeters, even though it looked really big, but it isn't because I grew it in centimeters. There's the length of the controlled variable bacteria growth, and there's the controlled variable bacteria growth as it is width and widest part. My soap and water bacteria growth length was in growth of centimeters from day 2, day 4, and day 7 because I didn't have enough room to put day 6 in. And that's the length of that. And the width of the widest part of the bacteria growth is soap and water. My growth in centimeters of the off-brand disinfecting wipe, which was Member's Mark bacteria growth in the length, and the off-brand disinfecting wipe bacteria growth of the width and the widest part. My conclusion was after observing the inoculated Petri dish for 7 days, I can conclude that hot soap and water do not kill bacteria like disinfecting wipes do. I can also conclude that disinfecting wipes can kill bacteria and viruses more than hot soap and water do. My application was, if you wanted to try this again, I would suggest that you get enough Petri dishes so that I could test the sink at different times to see how long the disinfecting wipes prevented the bacteria from growing so that people can test the toilet, the countertops, the door handles, and the shower drain to see which had the most bacteria. And
Very good.